Okay, hello and welcome back to Songs of Conquest. As we continue creeping borders, do check the playlist link in the description to find all episodes in one place. So in the previous episode we discovered Red, who is not too far from our lands at this point. But there are a couple of other enemies to worry about as well, so we can see that Green over here actually has the Destruction Spire, and then to the north we are aware that Purple has a town just here. Which is not too far from our little economic town just over on this side of our empire. So this is starting to look a little bit dangerous. We do have two pretty good heroes, or wielders, but dealing with potentially three enemies at once could become a problem pretty rapidly. So we are going to still use Grunt just to grab some bits and pieces, as this Order Spire is to be unclaimed, as far as I can see. Anyway, we'll go to the east, we'll grab some wood, we'll go across to the Forgotten Grave, which gives us +5 Ancient Amber and Riding Boots. Okay. That's interesting. So +2 movement, +1 view radius, that's really, really good. So immediately a great development, +1000 gold is nice too. If we go to the east, this fight is probably going to be too much to us. Plus it leads to fighting pits and bandit hideout, so probably not important that we go for that, but we'll still grab the little bit of wood. And we're going to try and bring some units down. We're pretty close to upgrading our original town to its final level. Just need 10 more wood for that, which is not going to take too long. But now that we have a little bit more Ancient Amber, we should be able to potentially go for an upgrade to this. So 5 wood is fine, that won't stop us going for the upgrade next turn. So yeah, we'll upgrade that and we'll start producing terrors. And then back in this town, we can also potentially upgrade the stump if we want to. That might cost us a little bit too much wood. Yeah, it kind of depends if we can get that wood from somewhere else. I'm not sure we should though. I'm not sure we should go for that right now. What I do think we should do is, I think now is a good time, because we have a lot of wood that is going to become increasingly less useful, a lot of wood income. I think now's a good time to start investing in converters. So we're going to go for one in our main town, and we're just going to move across. So this one's not an economic town, this one is. We're going to go for a converter here too. And we're also going to go for a converter here. And this is a little bit risky, this one, because this one I think will be attacked. But we're going to try and get as much out of it as we can, while we can. Then over in this town, this is already pretty much fully upgraded. We could upgrade the Drudger, but it costs us 2 wood. That's probably okay to do though. Then again, the Ancient Amber is probably better saved for something else. We do have the ability to pick up another Wielder if we want to. Question is, do we do that this round, or do we wait a little bit longer? I suppose one thing we could do is we could pick up... So not sure which choice is the best choice. If we were to go for Grow, we could get him in this town, we could upgrade the terrors immediately. Which seems like a pretty good option. I will go back to this Wielder first though, just because we might as well move as far as we can before we make any economic decisions. So Bone Club is +4 offense, so not great. Go across to this gives us a mace and 4 Glimmerweave, so again not great, but that's fine. It's not a bad choice for a scout. Then we can go to the south. We can't quite reach the Cozy Tavern, but potentially next turn. Okay, so 12,000 left to spend. We've already gone for the 3 converters. This is going to delay things a bit. But I do think Grow is potentially a good choice. Because yeah, we can upgrade these dreads. Other options, so Flora is potentially a good main, but I don't really like those starting troops so much. Lost does start off with the terrors, which is perhaps a little bit better for just getting going. Reap doesn't really give us the units we need. And I think Brood doesn't really give us the units we need either, although the additional experience gain is kind of tempting. So we either go for Lost and we go south from this town, or we go for Grow and we take a few extra turns. And I think this might come down to the fact that if we actually have a look to the west here, we can actually continue to explore. We can go along this way. We can go to the Fey Court, we can ransack that. Bubbling Pot, Burnt Building, and hopefully some other stuff too. I doubt we can make it as far as this town, which does appear to be defended. But we'll see how that plays out. With that being the case, perhaps if we do go for Grow here, we can then go into the town. Ah, they cost Celestial Ore, I didn't even notice that. I think we still do it. And I think we'll pick up 2 of these. We'll upgrade both of those. That's everything spent, but we can still go for a pretty full stack of broken vessels, so let's do that too. And does this give us enough to actually take this fight? No, not even close. Okay, so that was kind of my plan, but it's obviously not going to work, and then the rest of this stuff is still pretty tough too. So we have a small force, but not really on the level that we need. Yeah, and part of the reason to do this would be to go to this and then to take some extra units from there and then upgrade them, but that requires us to drop something off. So this probably wasn't the right choice in hindsight, but I'm going to put the chuck in there for now, because we do still need to level up. We're going to go across to this. Does this give us enough to upgrade? So this costs 8,000, so as long as we still have... We can't really afford to spend too much, actually. We can just see some reliable sources of gold, but I don't think there are too many. So honey tends to be a pretty good bet, but we've already taken most of this stuff. The stone circle we've not been to, pile of stone there. Then if we go west across all of this stuff, doesn't necessarily help us that much. There is essence caps down there, old urns, we can probably go to those next turn. So we can probably afford to spend a small amount, but yeah, I think this is maybe not the best choice. Never mind. Let's go for... I'm going to take the bet that we can probably make this amount of gold back. And then we're going to move back in this direction. And we're going to see how that goes. So, purple has not come to attack us yet. Red is on the move with this wielder who breaks through there, and they can reach Vigil. So this is futile. There are storm guards, sages, and guards. So this can't be their main, because he's not that great, although he is level 9. So losses expected, they loot plus 80 gold, that's a shame. But we'll get Vigil back at some point. That was the risk we took to explore. I'm not sure what that wielder has. Oh wow, okay, so we can see blue too, so where is that? Over here, I think. So this is... It suggests they can reach us if they break through this, and this is probably not a particularly tough fight, so that's another thing to look out for. Okay, so let's go to Honey first, because Honey is clearly our most productive wielder. Seems to get the most done. This makes us slightly stronger, but not an immediate reward for us. Okay, we'll go back to this, we'll go across to this. Does that give us enough to reach? It actually does, perfect. Okay, so do we have enough units? I don't think we'd change anything for 6 fungi. I think we just throw ourselves into this. Because yeah, Ancient Amber Excavation, really important. Don't like dealing with cutthroats and poachers, but outlaws we should be okay against, and we do have a lot of ranged units. An increasingly good wielder, and this reward is definitely worth it. Okay, so I want these on the higher ground, I want these towards the back, and we're going to have to go with this. This is not great for symbiosis, so actually let's have those two next to each other at least. See what Quick Battle can achieve. If the losses were restricted to just the broken vessels, I'll be fine with that, but I think we should try and do slightly better. We do have 2 slots for those now, so it makes sense to try and save a few broken vessels too if we can. So outlaws rush forwards, cutthroats, and those go for aim. So we can go instantly for an attack, and I do like the idea of just weakening these because they cause us a lot of trouble in episode 1. We can drop the initiative of this stack if we want to. Let's wait for now, so we'll weaken those a little bit, and if we take a step back... So what we really need to do is we need to drop their movement. But I don't think we can do it on time. But we can at least stop the stack of 7 from reaching us. These can attack us with aim, which is a shame, but it's not a huge deal. Yeah, as long as this stack can't reach us, they're not going to be able to do too much damage to us. I'm a little bit worried for the chuckers there. I can try dropping their initiative by 10, which is going to drop them to 19 initiative. We have 18. Okay. That's a shame, because we're very close. I'm tempted by Ethereal Scales. Yeah, because we can't really risk a loss to these. This is not a great use of it, but I just don't want to incentivize them to attack that stack. As yeah, stack of 7 can't reach us. Those go for those. Okay, I don't want to have to deal with retaliation, so I think we're going to be kind of forced to go for the Mucus Blast here. These are in deadly range, so let's just go for it. 1 to 3 kills. Do we weaken them first? I think we probably save our Arcana for now. So if we're trying to save up for Clouded Vision, we need some kind of source of Order Essence, which is not something we can do. I think we will try to slow them down, as it does produce results. This stack though is a bigger problem. I'm actually tempted to move through this. We could even go for Dimensional Door to make that happen. Is it that bad to walk through the zone of control of these? Maybe not. Yeah, 2 losses, and then I think we use that on weakening these instead. I just don't want to encourage these guys to go for their double strike. That probably wasn't worth it. Okay, those go for aim again. We take those losses. This is pretty similar to what the auto battle achieved. Do we go for something like this? No, I think we have to finish off these 2 stacks. So we could try repelling these, but it's not really going to work. Okay, just going to let whatever happens happen. We can go for something like Mist, but it doesn't last too long. We can drop their initiative, that would help us a bit. So yeah, we go for that, we go to the next round. Now we can go for Mucus Blast, which will kill 1 to 2 of them off. Then we could go for Repel afterwards. That would kind of screw them over a little bit. Yeah, because if they get pushed back by 2, they then have to move to attack us. Kind of wastes what they're... kind of wastes their aim. So we go for this, and then these presumably can't reach, so at this point it definitely makes sense to go for Repel. Try to waste their turn as much as possible. They can move by 2. They can go 1, 2, and they can still attack the stack of 11 unless we drop an Earth Block. Which then forces them to go this way instead. Which then means they can finish off our stack of 2, so maybe that doesn't really help us too much. I think we take our chances. Okay, so they do finish that stack off, but we don't end up wasting essence on an Earth Block. And we might have to move forward and take these on. It does become difficult to avoid the losses. We can drop their initiative. Then I guess we'll go forwards. So next round begins, we can go for another Mucus Blast, 1 to 2 kills from that. We could also go for Entangle. So they have to move in order to shoot. I think we definitely go for this. Then Psychic Spear doesn't really do too much damage. Probably should have kept this 1 stack back. But yeah, if we can avoid the losses to the range units, that's a step forwards. We could also repel. I'll try that. So they go for aim. They still have to move in order to attack us. Yeah, I'm going to actually fall back with this. Then we're going to drop their initiative again. Go to the next round. Go for another Mucus Blast. Drops them down to 5, then I think we'll save our essence because this does appear to be working reasonably well. End turn. They come forwards, they go for the attack, they finish off that stack. Now we can go for Mucus Blast again. Yeah, I think that's fine to do. So we go for Mucus Blast again. We then do get the next move, we can go for Acid Cloud, but 20 points of damage is not great. We can move this stack forwards if we want to. I can't really see them contributing too much if we don't. Yeah, I'm gonna go forwards. So they go for aim again. We go for Mucus Blast, drops their initiative by 5, they have 21 initiative, we can drop them to 16, so we probably want to go for Insect Swarm into this. Then if we go 2 steps forwards, we actually still can't reach. So I think we kill one off, and we got 2 stacks at full health, so we should be pretty much fine. We can also go for this, which does actually finish them off. Okay, so probably not worth the effort of playing that manually, but we do at least get 1 fewer loss to a unit we care about, and now we have the choice, because we reach level 8, we have to choose a power. So Eager gives us +2 troop movement, and Rigger gives us +3 HP. I think we go for Rigger, but obviously this isn't a particularly combat specialized wielder. Okay, so this guy seems beatable. He's currently worthy, and that's before we pick up any extra units. I do still want to upgrade this. I think it's fine if we lose a little bit of momentum there. Okay, so this wielder can't really do so much, but we can go in this direction, go to the old urns, and we do have a source of Glimmerweave, and we do currently... I would normally always go for the Glimmerweave here, but I do think lack of gold could be a problem. The Glimmerweave is coming in reliably. Yeah, I think we go for that. Then we go to this. This is additional spell power and so on. And there is actually a way through here. So we could try and set up a Wielder chain. It's going to take at least 1 more turn. Okay, so Grow is... I think Grow does go back and just pick up a few more of these. Then we move down to here. And we'll try and set something up next turn, we'll see how it goes. So that means Grunt is... he's a little bit exposed. If we try moving in this direction, we cannot revisit... oh, we can revisit the Cozy Tavern. Okay, so I do kind of want to go west and pillage this and get all of this stuff, but if we could actually sneak by, that would obviously be better. So yeah, we'll try to avoid Cheekham Stormcaller, we'll go up towards this town, and this should be a pretty workable Wielder chain pretty soon. Yeah, we go up in that direction. I don't like to backtrack, but I think it makes sense in this case. We do want to get our hands on Seeds of the Mother if we can. Do need a lot more gold for that, but the gold is starting to come in really healthily. So this town is able to do something. We've already upgraded the umbrage, and rest of this stuff I don't think we care about too much. Upgrading the burial mound is not really a priority. I think I'd rather keep my celestial ore. We're going to end the turn there. Cheekham does come towards us. I don't think he'll be able to reach. Don't know why he doesn't go to the tavern. Also a little bit nervous about what this guy might have. Blue is moving around, but it looks like that is just a scout, so they don't break through. Lots of Ancient Amber here, up for grabs, which is perfect. And maybe we have to go in this direction. I can take this wielder down to the Essence Cap, so I can actually pick up some of these units and try to thread them through. So if Prowl goes south... so she can currently reach... I don't know if that's a male or a female, but they can currently reach. Problem is, I don't think Honey can get far enough, so we'd have to backtrack. But that's okay, that's all workable. There's Fruits of the Wildwoods there, which I'd be tempted to try to take on. I think we go to... there's a winnable fight here against Poachers, but we take some losses. Yeah, I think we go down to this, grab the buff, move a little bit further down, move back up, gonna take the best units. I guess we'll take some of this stuff too. So we are weakening Honey quite a lot. I am enjoying Honey being a usable wielder, but I think we have to kind of accept that. So +7 offense, this one's part of an artifact set, so we'll keep that one. And spell damage resistance, that's going to be really useful. No, not equip it. Oh, I'm using the wrong slot. Okay, so Honey needs to pick up some more units at some point. We will at least spread these out for a bit of extra defense. Not that it would make much difference, but still. Then we move down to the southwest. We can't really get anywhere near enough, but if we bring Grunt up now, the problem is this town is just completely exposed. So they would take that for sure. And then Grow obviously can't get far enough. Bro can at least get closer. We got to go to this first. We got to upgrade our units. And other units we can pick up. We got 7,000 we can spend. I think 4 of these for 6,000. That's got to be done. That's our main strategy for the playthrough. So we get 4 of these now, massively making up for the ones we lost before. We really need some more command on this guy, but we will make do with this for now. So he's going to come south, going to resist the termite nest, because the important thing is just keeping Grunt as close by as possible. So we're going to take all of those units, we're going to get rid of these. Actually no, we don't need to. We just bring these together. Okay, that should make us more than strong enough. So Grunt can go actually all the way back, so we can take him on. It's saying it's a fair fight, so it's not necessarily really straightforward, but I think with these units we should be absolutely fine. Let's go straight for it. Okay, so he's level 9, he must be their best, you would think, but he's surprisingly beatable. So, 4 Seeds of the Mother. They can hold Storm Guards in place, they can hold Guards in place. And then Sages there aren't too many of. So yeah, I think we keep those towards the front. Not sure how easily these can attack over barriers, but we'll see how this goes. Keep our units together for the symbiosis. Yeah, let's see what Quick Battle achieves. Oh wow, no losses at all, so we don't even have to play that out. So Thorn Whip plus 10 offense. Masterly crafted boots, even better than what we had before, and Gloves of Eternity, plus 1 attacks, minus 50 melee offense, minus 50 ranged defense, and minus 50 defense. I don't know if that's good. We certainly want better Arcana Magic, because Arcana Magic is amazing, and we don't have any space for a lot of these units, unfortunately, but yeah, we'll take the additional Arcana. I think it's fine if we don't go for more creation at this stage. We can see that these probably made a big difference in preventing any losses. Okay, let's let the rest go. And can we go back to this again? No, we can't. But we can see Relac there, he is actually insignificant strength. So I guess we push on. We should still be able to transfer some units next round. So we'll move across to the cairn, we'll ignore the burnt buildings, that's already been cleared out. Nothing good to the west. Yeah, I think we use this opportunity to go aggressive. So the converters have been completed, but I think we still hold back for now. Next big thing I think we want to do is to go for the Briar, and then using the Briar, we're going to rush towards upgrading those Seeds of the Mother. That plus 1 hex root spread, plus 1 troop movement to those units is going to be huge, and it's very affordable too. So the Briar itself just requires a bit more gold, but otherwise very affordable. So we can start going for that next round. We could even do some trading now. We do have the converters. Is the rate actually good enough? Does it make sense? So this thing costs us 3,000. If we can sell 5 wood for 500, we could do it by making some sacrifices, but I think it makes far more sense just to wait until next turn. So I'm going to end the round there. Just check there's nothing else worth doing. We do need Wielders around here to defend. So Vigil is currently recovering, still needs a little bit more time before we can re-recruit for free. I don't think we spend the gold in re-recruiting. I think we end the round there. Red will presumably retreat. I think we need to press against them, as we do see purple potentially coming towards us. And red goes up in that direction, which is annoying, because that doesn't feel like the direction we want to be attacking in. Now, is this Wielder strong enough to break through? Where would they go? They'd have to go to the west and break through this. Then they have a bit of a walk. So it's Dr. Marjatta, which is, I think, even worse for us, because that's a really good Wielder. But we just have to assume that she probably won't reach. Okay, so let's pass everything useful across so you can have the bone club. Actually, we'll do it like this. We'll keep the bone club, pass the armor across. Helmet of the veneer is nothing special. I think we swap all of these units around. Square goes down to this. We run out of movement right before we reach the tavern. That sucks. Is it worth coming back for these extra units? So 11 lobbers, 9 chuckers. We've only got space for 5 unless we get rid of a stack. We can go for this. It's a risky fight. It does get us a lot more units. Then we can push through here. We can go to the south. There's clearly... well, there's mud huts there. But then it clearly leads round to their town. This Wielder we should actually be able to take on. So he's just kind of hiding. We could actually take him on using Grow. So is this fight worth doing? The problem is any units we pick up we will have to sacrifice one of our existing units unless we level up, but we should actually level up. If we just fully commit ourselves to going for command, we can still pick up the extra units from here, so I think this still makes sense. Plus it gets us a few more resources, which I think we do need. Let's give this a go. So this positioning looks okay. Yeah, this looks fine. So 7 losses to all of those. We already know we're going to get all of those back. So I guess there is one slight problem, which is that we're going to overflow that stack, and we do reach level 8, so we have a choice between the +2 troop movement for all units. That's really interesting. I didn't seriously think about this, but we could use that specifically because soon enough our Seeds of the Mother will have 3 movement. We can give them 5 movement on the first round. They can move in, they have a reach of 3. I'm not sure this is actually the right choice, but I feel like it's the more interesting choice. So we're going to take it. But it does then occur to me that one thing, of course, I've not really thought about is by getting to level 8, we don't get the option of upgrading our command. So we either let 18 broken vessels go. I think probably we should let the hearts go, though. I do hate to do it, but I just don't think... I don't think it makes sense to hang on to those. Yeah. Then we're going to go straight to the east. Someone else can pick that stuff up. We'll go for the farm. Plus 150 gold per turn. We will try to pillage this next turn. And if we go back to Prowl, Prowl is able to, I guess, go for some stuff like this. Let's do that. I'm a little bit worried we could be attacked from the north. Does seem like that is shaping up to be a thing. So we do have Honey around, who is level 8, so that does help us slightly. Useful things Honey can do, possibly not too much. Invigorating Root is just a little bit of extra movement. We could send Honey in this direction. That seems fine to do, let's do it. But yeah, it does mean we're a little bit vulnerable. Prowl is obviously not going to be a great defender. We could go for something like the guard tower, but probably not urgent to do so. We do want to go for the Briar. Let's just absolutely make sure we're thinking of the right one. So the Glade is what gives us additional units, but the Briar is what gives us the additional root spread. So yep, let's go for that. Start constructing. That is going to take us 3 rounds, unfortunately, but once it's done, we should be able to get the upgrade pretty much immediately. So if we want to go for walls, that's another thing that could help us. It's 3,000 gold, 15 stone, plus 5 wood. Creates 5 broken vessels, 2 lobbers, and 1 baluster. But it's 5 broken vessels and 2 lobbers per round. Garrison size of 50 for broken vessels, so it takes 10 rounds to build itself up. I'm going to actually do it. I'm going to go for the walls, make it a little bit harder for them to take it if they do come to attack, because we don't really have a plan for that situation. Hostiles have got stronger, that's fine. Let's end the round there, as purple is not moving aggressively towards us, and no sign of blue movement either, and also no sign of red. So let's move through, let's pillage this, 500 gold. This I feel is surely not their main town. There is a Glimmerweave Grove there, which is great. But yeah, I think we want to push a little bit further on. We can see a red Wielder there, we should see what they have. we can get a little bit closer. So the only way to reach them is to go all the way around, and we don't know what they have. Okay, we're going to go to this, and we should be able to make some room for the large camp, with grow, at least. So we'll go to this, grab the gold, move up to this, 7 lobbers. Okay, so they actually fit in perfectly. A little bit more gold from this, and we can give this stack over if we want to. Yeah, we could swap those for some broken vessels. Do still want to chase Relax down. He does have some units. But yeah, if Honey picks up a few basic units, that might be enough. Okay, so other things we could perhaps pick up. So Fruits of the Wildwoods, let's go back to that. So that's 800 gold. Other things up for grabs. So we've not been to the Crumbling Tower with this Wielder. Pick it for extra units. More Fruits of the Wildwoods right to the north. I guess someone can go for that. A little bit wasteful, but we don't have too much to do with these Wielders. Okay, so Honey continues to move in this direction. I think that makes sense. We clearly have a few things to achieve around here, so I think we are going to risk moving towards this. We're surely strong enough because we just came up against a level 9 Wielder. There is potentially their main town. Might be a better target. So it's tier 3. So we can see that our enemies are a little bit more limited than we are. Undefended. Okay, so they've got the Dragon Pyramid. I would rather take this with someone else, because I'd rather not raise it. So yeah, there's the lean-to. Fungus farm. Yeah, I'd rather convert this if we can, but I think... Yeah, it's a little bit wasteful, but I just think for the sake of momentum, let's raise, and let's start coming back immediately. If we had someone else a little bit closer, then maybe I'd take a different approach. We can convert this one, perhaps. So there's an exchange, there's diggers and gatherers. Okay, that's not really that useful to us. So 12,000 we can spend. This is being raised. This is almost fully upgraded unless we upgrade the burial mound, which is not a priority. This is fully upgraded, and this is also fully upgraded. There is still the option of upgrading the stump in this town, which I think is fine to do. Let's do that for the additional income. Order options, so Vigil can come back for 1,000. Pretty sure we can't do that in this town. Yep, no surprises there. So we've got loads of gold we can spend, but we're not going to get surprised attacked. We should see something coming. So we'll retain the flexibility. We will end the round there. Okay, so purple unfortunately now is moving towards us in the other direction. Relax is coming south. He's not too strong, but he's maybe strong enough to take on Honey, so that's really annoying. Didn't think he could go that far. I guess he is right next to a cozy tavern, so I should have perhaps seen that coming. Really frustrating. I want to see exactly what he has. I guess I'd need my units closer together to pull anything off here. Yeah, there's a lack of symbiosis here. We could hold them in place by sacrificing a stack. So 5 movement on these. 46 initiative. We can repel, but that doesn't really achieve anything. Yeah, we're producing a lot of Arcana, but we'd have to go for Psychic Spears over and over again, and our units aren't really fast enough, and he'll be creating his own essence. So these things have 14 health each, so we can kill one off. I think we'd have to repel, which obviously doesn't really help us, but it helps our stack of 4 survive for one more round. Then we move down to here, but yeah, we can't really stop him. Yeah, I really didn't think he could go that far. Okay, so we have the option of entangling the stack of 12, which is actually probably not a bad idea. This isn't really going to achieve too much, I don't know why I'm doing this. Stack of 3 wants to come towards us, that's okay. Goes for the gas cloud, does kill off another one of our stacks. Stack of 3 moves in. I think we kill one of these off this time. End the turn. They move in through a dimensional door and they kill us. Okay, that sucks. We can re-buy honey, but we will lose a few artifacts. No, we don't. We've already given those away. Okay. So we have a problem to deal with, but we can re-recruit. Okay, so that Wielder must have run off. The other Wielder must have gone. I do want to go to the Crumbling Tower, which does get us another level. So Reap the Harvest, Destruction, Magic, or Command. We're going to go for Command. Would have been useful sooner. And I think we got to try and chase them down. So Ancient Ruins over there. Shrine of Aurelia. Yeah, we've got to try and chase down their remaining Wielders. We've got to try and shut this guy down before he can do any more damage. He's insignificant power. Problem is, there's probably no one close enough to really stop him. Actually, no. Grow can do it. Have we visited this? Ah. We have, but we can still reach. Okay, so let's get our revenge immediately. Shouldn't really take any losses here. 1 loss is fine. So +2 initiative, +1 movement, that's nice. +5 initiative there is also good. +1 creation essence. Okay, so some good stuff from that guy, and it gets us to level 2, which is giving us the option of Arcana Magic. I do like Arcana Magic on this guy just because he does produce a lot of broken vessels, and they produce a lot of Arcana. So it's definitely tempting. I will go for it. I don't want to get in the habit of going for magic skills. I think he needs a bit more command, but we'll take that. And we'll move back to the east. Okay, so that at least gives us a little bit more time. I am very worried what Dr. Marjata can do to us. Let's see, so if we want to get Vigil back, it's now only 500. We should perhaps just go for that. So Vigil does only have 3 command. We could try to level him up. Probably makes more sense to train up Prowl. Okay, so Prowl's specialism is the addition of Stealthy to Hearts and Pulses. We actually still haven't upgraded the Morass. And I think we should. I do want to get Honey back as soon as possible, but yeah, it's going to take some time. Extremely expensive to do that right now. Fine. I'm going to go for the upgrade to the Morass, because that would have been helpful sooner. And then we can pick up 25 of these. We can upgrade. I don't really want to use these units at all. I'm going to store them in the town. Then drafting troops, we can go for a full stack of 20 chucks. We can go for 3 more Seeds of the Mother. 10 hearts, which we know is useful for this Wielder. Also upgrade those. I think going for the chucks is a no-brainer. Then I think we do go for these. Upgrade some of those. Do we spend literally everything? I think we do actually, because then we have a force that we know is strong enough to take some fights. So these fights aren't necessarily that useful to take. The fight against these leads to Abandoned Cart, Dead Commander, Archway Portal. We go back to the north instead. We know we're pretty close to blue in that direction. We probably don't want to be picking that fight. If there's something else we can grab that doesn't expose us. We've got a pretty strong force. I'm just not sure this stuff is worth it, but I am kind of curious to see what's through there. If we go south, the Essence Tree of Chaos I don't think is priority. If we go for this group of units, another Ancient Amber Excavation. So maybe we do try and push through this. Let's see, I'm going to go to the Crumbling Monument, which gets us to level 2, and then we can go for additional command, we can go for Chaos Magic. Cunning is kind of interesting, but not really. I think command is the most important thing, and we can spread these out into a second stack. Maybe we go west first, I do want to see what this is. So this is actually a simple fight, and this is a bigger priority for us. Ah, green's actually right there. Abertina. And she's presumably fairly strong if she can break through. Okay, gonna move towards this. I'm a little bit nervous about what we're seeing there. Okay, ending the turn there, as Dr. Marjata is moving off to the east. I think they will probably break through soon. Green chooses not to break through. That still has me very nervous. This town's still being raised. Main thing I want to do with this really is build the additional research building and make sure we lock this down as a safe area. So Grow is hopefully able to reach this fairly soon. I don't really want to distract Prowl with this, or Grunt even. We want to go up in this direction. Temporary buff there's nothing special. Bit of extra experience, but we can't reach. And then there's actually a worthy fight there. I'm curious what that's guarding. I feel like we could take that. Feeling pretty confident about what Grunt can do. Okay, we move to the east. Then we'll return to Prowl. This is a little bit worrying. Maybe we do go for a guard tower, because they can reach us. This Briar is actually done. So that means we can now go for the Embrace and Crush research. So we got that +1 spread to our roots. Other things we can go for, so Vessel's Voyage, +1 movement, that is pretty good. +2 HP to all of our troops, that's also good. +2 HP to Broken Vessels. So this is +3 to everything. This is +3 to just Broken Vessels. Obviously this costs us a lot of gold, but that is still clearly better. Vessel's Voyage though is tempting me because I feel like we are currently in a situation where a bit of extra movement would go a long way, so I'm going to go for that. I will go for Steady Roots. And then yeah, that's pretty much everything spent. Okay, so back to this Wielder. We'll take our chances with moving south. Not sure that's wise, but yeah, we'll do it. We'll take our chances. We'll go for this. Shouldn't really need to take losses here. Wow, especially not that many. Actually, I see there are a lot of range units we have to look out for. Okay. This Wielder, of course, is also nothing special. Okay, I wish they were a little bit closer together. Suppose I don't mind too much if these come towards us. Do want to keep the stack of 43 away for as long as possible. So those are already dropped to 1 movement. We can drop these to 1 movement as well. We can slow these down. Is there any chance we stop them reaching us? So they're 5 movement. They can go 1, 2, 3, 4. We slow them down, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe it would work. Buy ourselves 1 extra round. Yeah, only thing is, if we go up to this hex, we're easier for this to reach. But we do get to move with these 2 stacks first before anything else happens, so I'm going to move up to here. We can do a lot of damage to these, so yeah, we definitely go for that. They can only move 1 movement at a time, so that's perfect. We move up in this direction. Hold our position. Please move forwards. New round begins. They are still outside of our range. Okay, so I think we take 1 step back. Go for Mucus Blast purely for the sake of slowing them down. Then this stack gets to move. We move backwards again. Slow these down some more. Now they can't reach us. We can kill off this stack. Then stack of 27 does get to move. We can repel those. We can entangle them. Repel probably achieves more. We could actually go for the attack on the 8 as well. Maybe that makes more sense, because they're going to be pretty tough. Yeah, we don't get too much damage on those. These move up and go defensive. Now stack of 6 gets to move in. We could try to block them with an earth block. I don't think it would make too much difference. We can go for 2 earth blocks though, which would cause them some problems. So yeah, let's do that. Yep, so they waste their turn doing that, that's fine, and now we've got 2 separate stacks in range of Mucus Blast, so we go for that. These now cannot reach any of our stacks. The hearts get to attack through these 2 stacks before they can move. So does it make sense to still go for the Mucus Blast on those 2 stacks? I think it probably does. We take a step back. Do we go for another Earth Block? We do get to move before the stack of 6 does, so yeah, we go for this, finish off that stack. Stack of 27 still can't reach us for now. This stack is fine in place. We go for the Earth Block once again, although actually can't redo it on the destroyed Earth Block. I'm not sure that was always a thing. I feel like that's a newer development. Okay. We'll do it here instead, as they do try to weave their way around it. So if we go for the Earth Block on this, how much difference does that make? Not too much. So we can slow them down by 1. We should try that. So stack of 3 will be able to reach us if we move down to here. However, we can repel them by 1, which might seem really foolish, but that does seem to stop them reaching us, I think. Yeah, the 19 to 26 kills on these. So yeah, we repel these. They now cannot reach us. We go for the attack on these. They're very weakened. They still aren't able to go for the attack on us. These skip their turn. Stack of 3 can't get to us. Go for the attack. Drop their initiative. Weaken them a bit. Kill these off. Kill these off. Okay, so that is a lot better than the auto battle. So no losses, we reach level 3, so prepared for additional initiative. I think we go for more command. Take the full stack of new units, we move across to this, so this gives us +1 Chaos Essence. Then we go south, we can go to the invigorating route. We can now take this fight, which is considered simple. 34 poachers though. That doesn't sound fun. But I think important that we keep the momentum up as they do actually flee. That's amazing. We get more experience. We get scouting for +6 view radius. That is really interesting. I think we should do that. So yeah, we can see a lot more now, and we'll be able to see more when we get to this too. Okay, so back across the grunt, let's move up in this direction, and I feel like we could probably do this, whatever this is. I feel like we could probably do it because we got Seeds of the Mother with their 3 radius, and we could split those into 2 stacks, and that should be fine to do. Very curious to see how that goes, and then yeah, we're going to grow down to the south. We're going to somewhat nervously, I think we'll be nervous at the end of every turn from now on, but somewhat nervously end our turn there as Dr. Magiata does break through. And this is a big problem for us, and on the very same turn, blue is moving in on us as well. So +4 defense. The roots marching with the vessels have honed their skills in many battles fought. It is useful. +4 defense. Okay, feeling pretty nervous about this. How are they looking? We don't know what they have. So one thing we can do is we can bring Vigil back. Just to see what this is. So rats, cultists, toxicologists, plague rats, oathbound. Yeah, I don't want to get overconfident. I'm not sure we quite have enough here to do it. We could try to survive. Well, we could weaken her. So abertina, we can weaken her. We can hopefully weaken her enough that by the time they reach the Tree Mother, they're not going to be strong enough. We're going to have to upgrade this, I think, for 5 Celestial Ore. It's a bit of a waste, but got to try and defend this as much as we can. So 18 of these, 38 of these. Small number of defenders in the town. Got to go back and defend with our Wielder. But it's not a great choice. I still want to stay aggressive on this side. Make sure we at least remove red. Interesting, so source of celestial ore to the north. Red must have gone west, but I do want to go in this direction. I do think we could do it, and I also think it's a fun fight to do. Just to see our new and improved Seeds of the Mother in action. So we have a lot of stone and a lot of wood that we can sell. Soon enough we might be able to replace honey in this town too. Okay, so let's go for the town. We don't know if it has any defenders. No, undefended. So we take this. I am going to convert this one, I think. No sign of any further red wielders. Invigorating root for +2 movement still puts us, I think, definitely in range of Abertina. I guess there is a ledge here, but I think she can reach us, and I think she can reach the town, which is even more worrying. So what we could do is we could spend the gold to get honey back, because honey is a little bit better, but also at the same time, the skills are not really too relevant. So very worried for our main town, and yet still want to do this. Just want to see what this leads to, because it's such a tough guard. At some point, presumably, we get over to this. Which, yeah, I guess that's worth having. So it's a worthy fight. They will start towards the bottom, so we will start towards the top. And yeah, both of these two stacks are producing one of each type of essence every round. Let's see what the game thinks would happen. No, I feel like we can do better. They're all melee units. So this should be exactly the kind of fight we like to take. So yeah, they rush forward with those two stacks, and there's 15 of these two. Now these do worry me a bit because they can produce the Oathbound. But we might still have options. Okay, so we're going to wait. Those coming closer too, so we can at best hold 2 stacks back at once. So Seeds of the Mother now get to move forwards, and we can see how far they can move thanks to their ability. So we can hold 2 of their stacks back. These things, I think if we hold them back, they're just going to end up producing Oathbound. Which would be quite annoying. Yeah, maybe this is a bit of a problem. So actually, most of their stacks still can't reach us if we pull back. It is tempting to just lock in and hold them back now, but I don't think we need to. So yeah, let's move somewhere they can't reach. So yeah, you can see just how far our roots spread. But yeah, now this stack can't reach us, this stack can. This stack can't currently, this stack currently can, so stack of 2 just here needs to move away. I think to here should be fine. Gives us some good reach. Yeah, nothing can reach us. Now we can slow them down with the Mucus Blast. Probably worth doing. We also activate their Berserking, which does mean they can move 1 step further. But yeah, with 1 additional movement they technically still can't reach us for now, so... Does this reach? It's quite difficult to tell. Oh no, these are actually 2 hexes. These are 2 hexes above these. So they look like they're next to each other, but they're not. So yeah, I think obviously we want to go for 3 stacks at once. So those 2 stacks are berserking, that's fine. A stack of 18 can't really get involved, but that's okay. I think we move these 1 back. Now everyone can reach if they have to reach, and stack of 4 has waited, so they will get to move out of the way, although it looks like they're fine. Okay, so do we just wait and try to accumulate more essence? We can go for repel, we can push them back by 4 hexes. So this stack does scare me a bit. But there's still an argument for waiting. So those are scorned, we can hold them in place. Those are also scorned, those are not scorned. But yeah, we can hold 2 of those stacks back if we want to. So Rupture for 60 points of damage. The problem is we don't have great ways to deal a lot of damage. It's the stack of 81, I guess, that can still get involved. Stack of 9 will move pretty soon. This stack obviously waits. Then we can bind these if we want to. What we could do instead is focus down this stack. So this stack does resist spell damage. But yeah, I think maybe that might be better. So we actually bind the rats. Just keep those 2 out. And we'll hit all 3 stacks with the Mucus Blast. Stack of 9 moves in. So rapid fire, all friendly ranged troops get +1 attack. We just have the one of those. A stack of 18 is not going to achieve too much. Maybe we still move forwards though. Stack of 25 stays close by 2. Okay, so with all this essence, what can we do? So Arcane Storm does 60 damage, so it's going to do a lot of damage to pretty much all of them. Justice we can go for twice, which is going to kill off 2 of the Blessed Bones. The Blessed Bones are what scares me the most. We can repel those. We can actually repel them twice. But they're on this axis, which just pushes them back into an obstacle. So that's a shame. We can entangle them, which pretty much forces them to go for the summon. That's maybe the best option though. And then having done that, we could start perhaps trying to focus down the stack of 9. They're a bit of a threat. But yeah, these 2 are bound in place, these are bound in place, so we actually get our next move with this stack before anything else happens. I'm going to move just down to here. So yeah, all 3 of those are stuck in place, then we get our next move. If we could drop the initiative of these a little bit more, we get even more essence we can work with. Okay, so let's have a look. 23 initiative, these have 26, so we're 1 short. So we can drop their initiative with Ice Bolt, which I guess does work pretty well. Yeah, we Ice Bolt these. They are now slower. We'll take a step in. Does this make sense to do? So we can repel them through our zone of control. Other things we can do, we can pacify, but our order magic's not that good. So what we really want to do is we want to get back to entangle, which requires 3 more creation essence. We're going to get 2 more from these. 1 more from these. And that all happens before they get to move again. So yeah, this does work. So can we afford to spare the Arcana Essence to go for the Repel? So we need 6 in total, so we're going to spend 7, that leaves us with 5. So yeah, Repel is still fine to go for. But they're stealthy, so that achieves nothing, I forgot about that. We can move away from them. Well, they can probably still reach us, but... we'll see. So yeah, we're kicking in with the Scorn, so these are getting weakened over time. We're going to continue to hold these in place. We're going to continue to hold these in place. Then I can slow these down. Which I guess in these circumstances might make sense. Because we want to entangle these. I do want to weaken these a lot too. But yeah, as a one-off... well, actually, I can go for the Onslaught. Order and Chaos, we're not using that for too much. I wouldn't mind moving in first, though, because, yeah, we want to get these in our deadly range. That's going to make a big difference. Then, as a one-off, we go for this. So they now can't reach. Did we go for the Entangle? I can't remember. No. So we need to go for that next. Okay, so next round. Before we forget... Oh, why are we not producing... Oh, I can't remember what I spent the creation on. Blind Hatred is tempting. So yeah, let's have a think. So Onslaught would be good. We do want to drop their initiative, I think. So if we can give them -10 initiative, that will drop these from 34 to 24. These things have 23. So yeah, we can go for Quicken, then we go for Onslaught, then we go for... I'm not sure this works, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to go for Lethargy. Slow all of those down. Then go for Quicken on this stack. Still not quite fast enough. I think we let them do their thing. Oh, we did bind them. I couldn't see if we'd bound them or not. I thought I should definitely bind them. I couldn't make sense of it. Okay, fine. So now this stack probably actually moves a little bit too soon for my liking. We do want to still weaken the stack of 8, so that's perhaps our next priority. So 3 to 4 kills, they are intimidated, other stacks can't reach us. Is there anything else that it makes sense to go for? So aggression is okay. Maybe sabotage. Well, actually, what I really wanted to do was I wanted to use Onslaught, but we've already used our Chaos on Lethargy, so... yeah, I've got myself a bit confused with the Chaos of this one, but... I guess in these circumstances, we go for Sabotage, we get the 3 to 4 kills. Do take some damage in response, we attack once again, and now... yeah, these are in our deadly range. I don't think 2 will be able to get the kill on us, therefore it still makes sense to go for the strongest possible attack we can on those, as we do get to attack twice. Oh, because we've got the double thing on. I didn't take that off, I thought I took that off. That explains some things. I was thinking these should have been doing more damage. Okay. So, importantly, we do want to save up for Entangle, but that should still be doable. So yeah, we do survive that, we get some momentum. These 2 stacks skip their turn. A stack of 10 does then get to move pretty soon. What can we do about that? This time round, there might be nothing we can do. We can reduce their damage. We could quicken one of these 2, but that doesn't make sense. Yeah, so they're about to move with all their stacks. Our fastest stack is these. If they get to move, they get the Order and Destruction Essence. So there's no circumstance where we can speed up the chuckers to be able to use them on the stack of 10. I can't see a way we can do that. If we had one more Order, we could get involved fast enough to slow down the Blessed Bones before they can move. I do wonder if we push them back, they'll only go back by 1. They have 4 movement, so yeah, that doesn't really stop them at all. I think we just have to take a hit, and I think we go for Pacify to try and withstand them as best we can. And I think that has to do. Okay, so time to take our first hit. So these 2 stacks are at least stuck, but these do come forwards, and they're going to focus those down, so we take a loss to those. That's a shame. So does it now make sense to try and kill one of these 2 stacks off? Perhaps. I think, don't want these to get involved. So let's see, so they're down to 51 and 59. We can bind these, but then we have to Dimension Door to get out of their range. One thing we can do is we can move in closer. We're going to still bind these. We weaken them some more. I will bind these. I am just more scared of these. Then I Dimensional Door these across to here. Now these are not in our deadly range, but they're the only ones that can reach us. We can go for the Mucus Blast on all 3 stacks, but if we just fully focus on wiping these out, there might be a way to make this work. So yeah, those 2 are stuck in place. Yeah, the 1 loss to the Terrors is unfortunate, but a lot of kills from this. Still, I think it maybe makes more sense to focus these down. So Rupture does 60 damage, it doesn't really make sense to go for that over Psychic Spear. So we Psychic Spear these, Psychic Spear them again. Now they are going to be able to move in. So we can try slowing them down. 13 rats shouldn't really be able to do too much damage to us, although actually we can see these have absorbed a lot of damage. So we don't want to lose a Seed of the Mother. Do want to slow these down as much as possible. So we skip a couple of turns with these get their turn again. Stack of 12 doesn't get to move until these move once again, so we skip ahead, these 2 are stuck in place, then we get to move. Then we can slow them down with the Ice Bolt while also weakening them. Then we don't really need to do anything else because all 3 of these are scorned, so they should be massively weakened over the next couple of turns. So yeah, we grasp these, and that is it. We've pretty much won. Just got to weaken these now and not get confused. So bind, bind. These things do resist a lot of magic damage, but they're in our deadly range, so we get to attack them twice. These skip their turns. Those 2 remain bound. Bind these again, and bind these. Finish these off. Then we can Psychic Spear these all the way to the end of the battle. So yeah, 1 loss. It is unfortunately to a unit I would have rather kept, but of course the real important stacks there, as we saw with the Seeds of the Mother, with that entangle every single turn from 3 hexes away, we just take the 1 loss to what should have been a really tough fight. Now I do really like Order Magic, and it would have helped us in that fight, so I will go for that. And then yeah, I guess there is some stuff we could be doing, like chasing red down, but we've opened this up. It was a tough fight to do so. I think probably makes sense to carry on. So if we push through here, there's some stuff we can grab, nothing too important. I was expecting something slightly better up here. So this is just Brigands. There shouldn't really be a need to take any losses at all. There's 2 stacks. We already know what we can do to 2 stacks. No. Game is massively screwing up with that one. That makes no sense. We've seen what the Seeds of the Mother can do. We know we can move really far on our first round, so all we have to do is skip turn, take a step forward, maybe another step forward, grasp these move up, and they move up again, grasp these, they're in our deadly range, neither of them can move. And that's it. Auto-resolve apparently doesn't understand that strat, but this is the strategy we've been building towards, and we can see how well it's working. Okay, we reached level 11, so I think in this case we are going to go for additional command. Take a few more of these units, and I wouldn't mind getting rid of 1 broken vessel, because we could actually split the Seeds of the Mother into a third stack, which is going to be 2 stacks of 1, which is maybe not that useful, but of course we can then bind 3 stacks at a time. So actually, if we move up in this direction, we can actually go west, and we can try to cut off Dr. Margiata before she reaches. So then we're actually dealing with that problem. So that's something. Obviously though, the much bigger problem is that in our main town, we potentially don't have enough to defend against Abertina, who is considered, even for this guy, considered a risky fight. I'm not sure we have enough in this town to make it work, but it's something we need to think about. So I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you in part 4.